guys, I'm here with Simon Edwards, the KCL Men's 1XV Captain. How are you doing, Simon?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. Hey, look, big match on Friday. Can't say that enough. Last year, 2011, was absolutely amazing, right? Philip Jones scores the last game-winning try in the last final seconds. Jake James makes the kick, and you guys win 17-15. How do you feel about that?
Well, last year's performance was an awesome comeback from us, coming back from about 12-0 down. But and also, running through about, I think it's about 40 phases for the final play to eventually get that try under the posts. But I've never experienced such a nerve-wracking kick. So.
Oh, I bet. That's anyone asked and listening on the radio, right? That was absolutely gut-wrenching. So that's fantastic, though, to have that experience. But how do you guys plan on moving forward this year with the game plan, isolating UCL? Obviously, they're doing well in their league standing. They have a few attackers out on the wing that have a strike rate that's better than most guys in the Aviva. You know, is it breakdown set pieces? What do you plan on doing to really keep UCL at bay?
We've really got to play it as it comes, really, because last few years we've been in the same league as them. We've had a little bit of knowledge of what they're like beforehand. This year, being in a different league, being in the league above, we don't have as much of an insight into the way they play and where their particular strengths are. So everything we're getting is just hearsay. So it's kind of just taking what comes at us and shutting down what we need to shut down. I mean, if their wingers are attacking threats, then we'll just prevent the ball from getting to the wing. If their forwards are their attacking threat, then we'll just try and shut them down at the breakdown and at scrums and lineouts. So I think we've definitely got the strength across the whole 22 players to change our game plan to what comes at us. So I don't think that's too much of a problem.
Yeah, and sounds like it's going to be a very good game for you guys. Now, turning to KCL boys in general, what does varsity mean for you guys?
Varsity is and always will be the biggest game of the year. It's our chance to get sort of everyone at the uni who's a rugby supporter down to watch us, down to watch the women's game, and really just sort of let that into London University rivalry blossom. And it's an amazing occasion, even from just a spectator's point of view. And playing in it is an absolute honour, biggest honour I can think of from Kings in terms of sport. So.
You said something there, spectator-wise. Obviously, we're moving from Richmond this year, playing at the famous Stoop, which is hands down one of the best stadiums in the Aviva Premiership, right? How do you guys feel about this big opportunity?
It's an amazing opportunity. I mean, with the way that both universities are wanting to build the profile of the match, the move to the Stoop is amazing. I've had the opportunity to watch a few games and sort of walk around the pitch a few times, and I think none of that is really going to compare to playing on it. So I think it makes the occasion much more meaningful by having it at such a well-known, renowned stadium.
Mm-hmm. Guys like Ed Lawless have done a fantastic job with media marketing, right? Everything seems to be going that way fantastically. How do you think people at KCL are ready for this mayhem that's going to be brought on Friday?
I think a lot of people are anxious. A lot of people are just sort of ready for it to happen. I mean, obviously this year it's about a month earlier than it normally has been during the season. So the publicising of it has been sort of started earlier. A lot more people have been involved in that whole process, sort of Ed and sort of governing things and getting things out there. So I think the hype has been built up in the best way it can be. I think everyone's ready for the game just to happen.
Is this just another match for you guys in the season in terms of preparation, or is there something extra that you've done with Coach John and others to really get yourself ready for Friday?
Well, as a club, we've got quite a large squad. So for the last 2 months, we've been trimming the squad down to sort of a core of 30 players who we had training a few more times in the week, getting a lot more calls involved, getting a lot more structure to those 30 players. And then at the beginning of this week, trimming that down to the 22 who will be playing and using them just as that core 22 players is the squad that's been training more intensely this week. So that's the kind of change in preparation that we've had, which is slightly different to other years in terms of having sort of so many players around the actual 22. But apart from in-training stuff, there's not really been much change to what we've actually been doing. just sort of trying to hone the basics, get the calls right, get the patterns right, that kind of thing.
Got it. Now you have a pretty extensive playing career as a player, right? How have you prepared yourself individually for an event like this?
I think from experience, it's all about sort of getting sort of the few days beforehand right, like little bits of eating right, just making sure that nothing really gets in the way in terms of mentally. I mean, obviously being at uni, there are university pressures, there are essay, coursework, deadlines, that kind of thing. But luckily, I don't have any particularly around the time for me at the moment, so I'm able to focus a bit more strongly on the game in terms of mental preparation and get myself in the right sort of physical state.
Even better.
So, and I think that's definitely helped. That's definitely helped me this year. I mean, I've had a few sort of injury worries personally over the last few months, and it's just good to be able to actually get to match day or the day before the match and be prepared to play and be ready and willing to play. So
yeah, fantastic. Now, last thing, moving over to more of a lighter note. Anything to say to UCL? I'm sure they'll be listening in on this one as we've going to be talking with their captain, Jack Treadray. So anything to say to UCL?
Bring it on, really.
Fantastic. And last big thing, obviously Reggie's going to be there. Is Reggie safe and secure? Has Reggie been taunted with at all by UCL?
I think they've tried, but nothing's happened. Reggie's a strong, resilient character. So
good. So we expect to see him there drunk on the pitch side then. That should be the good thing then. Looking forward to that. So, always good. Guys, well, it's been a pleasure talking with Simon, and definitely wish you all the best of luck on Friday. Okay, Simon?
Thank you.